Welcome to the ultimate backstage pass, the pulsating heart of the high school sports universe. Get ready to rock with the gang from the Corner to Corner podcast as they take their sports obsessions to new heights. Meet the dream team, Sean Kiper, Neil Payne, Adam Muncy, Wes Crouch, and Daron Stevens, as they unpack the secrets, emotions, and triumphs that light up our local sports heroes. Whether you're gearing up for a game or unleashing cheers from the stands, get ready for an exclusive scoop that'll knock your socks off. It's showtime!
Welcome into the From Corner to Corner Coaches Corner, presented by Win City Sports Cards, episode 302.
302.
Rolling along. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. If you don't mind, take a moment and share this out to all of your friends. Before we get started, let's take a moment and thank all of our sponsors. Community Trust Bank, Kimsoft, Win City Sports Cards, Tutu Sweet Treats, CRC Roofing and Renovations, Kentucky Realty Group, Jacob's Auto Body, Kelwell Commissary and Simply Secure, and Brent Wehunt Kentucky Farm Bureau out of Frenchburg. Tonight, joining us is Moco Ladies Volleyball Coach Bradley Craycraft, along with seniors Tia Terpeni and Sara Zink. So, thank you all for joining us. Tia, your first time on the show. Sara, you're starting to become a grizzled veteran on here. So, Coach, coming out of the season, had a pretty good season, maybe not exactly where you wanted to go, but you did wind up in the regions. Am I right about that?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, tell us a little bit about the season. I know it was, definitely more than what you had last year, and, kind of recap the season. Tell us how that went.
Overall, good year. We finished 26 and 13. We won district this year. Made it to the regional semis. I think as you talk to them, you'll figure out we didn't end it the way we wanted to, the way we expected it to. But you'll have that from year to year. So it is what it is. But it was a good year. A lot of growth this year. At all positions, because we put a lot on them early in the year, talking about how we were going to change how we played, the tempo of how we played, and everything. And they bought in from day one. And there were a couple moments early in the year where they could have given up, tucked in. Attitudes could have gotten bad. They could have gotten frustrated. But instead, they just hunkered down, buckled in, and really worked hard to get to where we wanted. The end result showed that because, we ended up beating GRC 2 out of 3 times. Finally beat Bourbon when it mattered. Took back district again, like I said, and then you saw who we were in that first game in the regional tournament. We ran Harrison County out of the gym in the first round of the regional tournament, and then we just couldn't find a rhythm against Bishop Brossard. So, but overall, it was a good season. I was proud of the girls.
We knew that was a tough draw. When we saw the bracket, we were like, man, that Bishop draw, because I think you kind of struggled with them earlier in the season too. But something that you just said there kind of caught my attention was changing the pace of play, and I'm like, oh, this isn't basketball. It's not like you can do full court press. So what does that look like? Because most of these girls that you have, they've been with you for a while. So you come into the season, you're like, forget everything that I've said. We're going to change it all up. So how do you change the pace of play in volleyball?
It was just speeding our passes up because we have more height than we've ever had, but still to beat teams and to compete with teams in this region up in the north, you have to be able to play at a faster pace. So that requires our defenders to speed passes up, get them to the setter faster, and then that requires our setters to get the ball to the hitters faster. So instead of running, a couple of games you came to last year, that set that's, going 4, 5, 6 feet above the top of the antenna, this year we were running sets mostly that were never getting above the top of the antenna. We were running balls that, were staying 3 and 4 feet above the top of the tape. And that allowed us to, create holes and blocks and create mismatches that benefited us.
So what did you see last year that, made you during the offseason go, okay, we got to change our philosophy? What is it? Was it just not the season that you wanted last year and you're like, we got to do something different? Or did you just kind of like, see that was kind of what the type of competition was doing, that type of stuff?
I mean, the way I looked at it, I just sat back and looked at my roster, and I maybe have 3 or 4 girls that are strictly volleyball only. But then when you look at my roster, it's the best female athletes walking the halls of the school.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally the best athletes from softball, the best athletes from basketball. We've got the best and you put all those on one roster. So I was like, we can out athletic people. We might not be able to out volleyball you, but we can out athletic you. So if we play fast and I've got these girls playing fast, playing free, and just allowing athleticism to take over, it's going to put us in a good place. And as we turned that corner and we got used to playing faster, you saw girls looking more comfortable because their athleticism was just taking over, as opposed to trying to be that super technical volleyball player that, I don't have the time to take for her, she plays softball 9-10 months out of the year. We don't have time to get her in the gym and turn her into a super technical, but I can let her go be athletic, and she's going to be more athletic than anybody on the floor.
Right.
So that's just where my mindset was with this group.
So it was more of a group. It was more of a, you look at your roster, like you said, and make that decision compared to, a difference in the style of play from, 4 years ago when you had, when you all won the region.
Right.
There wasn't, it's not really the game's changed in high school, or you're trying, it's just a year by year, and you looked at your roster and said, let's do this.
Yeah, it was strictly a personnel thing. Because that year that we won region, I had 7 or 8 girls that the only sport they played was volleyball.
Gotcha.
So I had them, they were playing club, then they were going straight from club to me, straight from me back to club.
Gotcha.
So those girls, they had thousands and thousands more reps than some of our girls this year ever had. But some of these girls this year would, athleticism-wise, would run circles around some of those girls. They just don't have the time on the volleyball court that they did. So if you can find a way to let them just go be athletes, you're going to put this group in a good place.
And, a lot of times it gets, covered up or not seen. But like Bradley, that's coaching, right? Being able to look at what you have. How can I get the most out of this group of players? And the way I can do that is to this. And then to be able to put that into play, that's what coaching is all about, So, kudos to you to see that, realize what you had, obviously put it into place, and have a pretty dang good season, So, that's awesome. That's awesome. So Tia, let me ask you, so your first time on the show, you're main volleyball, right? Do you play anything else? If you have, I haven't seen you in anything else.
I run track.
Okay. So you do the track thing. So what did you think when he comes in and goes, throw everything away, we're going to do this? What was your first thought?
Well, my first thought was like, okay, well, we got to change our defensive mind. So instead of trying to allow high balls, passes to the setters, we need to be able to control those passes and get to the setter quickly to where we can just go ahead and keep transitioning and keep the game moving.
Awesome. What about you?
Yeah. Me and T were kind of, we played back row the most together. We were always beside each other. So I think just like when he said, speed the game up, that kind of we took it upon ourselves to we kind of run the back row. So me and her have to work together to make sure these passes are quicker on playing where they're good passes so the setter can get a fastball, someone like Alexis.
So is that something did you have film prepared to kind of give them the idea of this, or was it all just this is what we're going to do?
I didn't have film prepared that I showed them, but to be honest, this team, I'm not comparing them, but it took me back to the year that UK won the national championship against Texas. Mm-hmm. Texas towered over top of Kentucky, but Kentucky ran such a fast tempo, Texas could never get their block set. They could never do the things that they had done great all year long. Then it was because of their size. That's why they've been able to be great, but Kentucky's speed took the size away. So I was like, that's kind of the build-up I have this year. I have a smaller team in places, but we're really athletic. So if we can play with speed, we can kind of counteract size. And there were some teams we beat this year that we were able to beat because, I mean, you looked across the net in warm-ups and you'd be like, oh, there ain't no way they're going to win tonight. And then we started playing and you're looking over and you're like, oh, they can't keep up with us. And that was kind of my mindset going into the season.
Gotcha. So within the first 2 weeks of just practice, and you all are implementing this, were you all looking around at each other like, oh, my goodness?
Yeah, it was rough. I remember from a hitting standpoint, it was rough. You would have me, Ellie, and Alexis on outside. And I remember coming back from nationals that first week after playing softball pretty much all summer. And they were like, we're working a lot faster this year. So then I'd get in hitting lines and go up there, and it's just like, that ball's way past me before I even get to step up. And he's like, yeah, you've got to get there. So, I mean, we're working, I think, until even the first game, even maybe a couple games in, where it's just, I mean, it took a little while to click.
Well, I was going to say, I was looking through the schedule, and y'all started playing by the schedule. You started playing August 20th, and it looks like about this. Well, it looks about like your Tennessee trip is when everything kind of went like that. Everything was, y'all were playing pretty well. You had games that was like, that's not the way it looks like the way you didn't want to play. But then Tennessee, around the 6th or 7th of September, things went, okay. Things are starting to meld together because you all went on a run after that of 5, 6, 7 games before you played Bourbon County, Clark County, and Bishop. And even in those games, I mean, I know there was 3 losses there, but even in those games, it was 25-22. 25-23, and then you all would, flip it back, to that same score. So it was all close games, but that you could tell that there was a click there around the 1st of September.
That's what that Tennessee trip is good for. I mean, I don't go down there. I mean, I'm never going to just give in and say I'm okay with losing this game. But that Tennessee trip isn't so much for I go down there expecting to win. It's we go down there expecting to come back a different and better team.
Gotcha.
Because I don't have time to game plan for anybody. We have no idea who we're playing. We don't know anything about them. So you're just going into every match, and I just tell the girls, get better. Get better this match. Get better this set. Work on what we do. That way when we go back and we're playing meaningful games, we're ready to go for those.
Is that a tournament down there?
It is.
So did you guys win that?
No. We won our bracket. We drew some really tough teams on day one. I mean, competed pretty well, but ultimately lost. Got put in it's one of those things whenever you get put in brackets like that to start, no matter how good you are, if you don't come out on top when you get placed in your bracket on day 2, we were playing teams we had no business playing. And, I mean, the score reflected. I mean, we played I think it's DeKalb County or whoever it was. They're a second-year program. Everybody played that match. Then the next game after that was they weren't a brand new team, but everyone played that match. So it was just one of those. We wish we had gotten another win on that first day. That way we could have played in a little bit better bracket and seen some more competitive teams. But ultimately, it got me what I wanted because when we came home, like you said, I think we won the last 2 games of that tournament, and then we went on I think that was part of a 9-game winning streak altogether. Yeah. Which, I mean.
And, there's only so much you can do in practice, right? Because you're not able to field your full complement of starters against another high school team of starters. So you got to have those regular games to, be able to start getting that competition. So that's, it takes a little bit of time to work that stuff out. So.
Well, and then multiple times this year, Sara, Alexis, Bailey, Lexi, all my hitters would be getting frustrated at one point in time or another because they're not seeing balls hit the floor. And I'm like, you got to realize these girls you're practicing with, they're being trained at the same speed you are. So just because we're going fast on this side, they're used to going fast on that side. So you're not going to get ball. If you can, that's why I say, if you can learn how to get a ball down against these guys, whenever we play teams that don't necessarily play at our pace, you're going to see a whole lot more balls hit the floor. Mm-hmm. And Alexis is our own biggest critic. You can watch that kid play, and she's harder on herself than anybody. But once she finally took that mindset into things, you started seeing Alexis coming through with games, 23 kills, 19 kills, 25 kills, 20 kills. And it was just because she was like, oh, okay, they don't play as fast as we do. So she just kind of relaxed and let her teammates do work around her, and then she put balls away whenever she got them.
Gotcha.
Vicious, right?
And so for the most part, you've got still a fairly young team. I mean, you had are you two the only seniors?
We had
5 altogether.
Oh, I did see the picture of that. You had 5 seniors, but then you had a whole slew of sophomores. That's all going to be together for the next 2 more years.
I mean, this senior class is. I mean, that's the ultimate thing we're going to be replacing, especially with these 2 and the other 3 is leadership.
Yeah.
You know, these 2 did a phenomenal job of being leaders on the floor. Miley Jones was great as showing, what it takes to be a good teammate. Not necessarily playing the position you want to play, but you're given a role and you play that and you accept that role and you do that role to the best of your ability. And then Madison and Jaden just being ready when needed, but then showing what it's like to be a senior, maybe not play as much as you want, but still be a leader from the bench. And it's just, that was a class thing. So ultimately, like, leadership is a big thing that'll be needed for next year. But as far as talent coming back, the junior and senior class, I was trying to find ways to get people up onto the varsity floor just because there was talent down in those freshman, sophomore, and junior classes that we needed to come up. That's why all of a sudden at the end of the season, you saw Anna Allison make an appearance. Kid's going to be a baller here. She was just a freshman this year, being introduced to varsity play, and there was some swings that you're like, okay, she's gonna be really good when she does. Aaron Fond, for crying out loud.
I was going to bring her up.
Anna had 24 kills and 11 appearances this year, so that's pretty good.
Aaron Fond is going to be a nightmare for teams in these coming years as she develops. You still got another year you got to deal with Alexis. Bailey Warner still is figuring out how to be a volleyball player because she's another one of those girls. She plays at an elite level above the net. She's so long, she's so athletic, and she got some blocks this year that all you can do is like pick your jaw up off the floor because it's a her thing. It's not anything I can't teach that athleticism. She just has it.
That's what I was looking at. She had 107 blocks. 67 of them were solo blocks this year.
Oh, yeah. Opposing middles hate Bailey. If they see Bailey in front of her, and Aaron will get that way, but if you're an opposing middle and you're going one-on-one with Bailey, you're praying you get out of that front row as quick as possible because she's going to hurt your feelings.
So district play was probably the most competitive, just by going by scores.
Absolutely.
And was probably the most competitive I've seen, in a while. Because it was Bourbon has always been a gnat that you're trying to, and Clark's not really been there. You all beat Clark pretty handily and then this year, and even Paris is just in a 2-year span.
Yeah, they're 2 or 3 years. If Paris, I'm gonna say it on there. I don't care. If Paris can hire a good coach, they're going to be a nightmare within 2 years. Yeah, their whole roster is 8th graders and freshmen, maybe a couple sophomores. Yeah, and you saw. I don't know if you all went and watched or whatever. They took Bourbon to 5. And gave themselves a chance to win that match. Just
off scoreboard, you could tell something's going on, something's changing down there. Because I remember when you were like, I think it was last year or a year before, they were like, they're brand new, they're just getting going, it's probably not going to be there very much match, and things have just changed in a snap, because they've got athletes, absolutely, down there. So, but the district itself was very competitive this year. So, going through the season, girls, it was kind of like, okay, we've won one. Okay, we lose one. Okay, we won one. Is that frustrating? And then how much sweeter does that make winning district tournament for you all?
Well, it is frustrating because we know we can win, especially against Bourbon.
Yeah.
We know we could. So, but it did help us change our mindset for those last few district games. Like, okay, we know we can win. We see what they do. We see what we can do. Now let's apply that to the game. Mm-hmm. So
I agree. I think when we played, especially Bourbon, it was mostly a mental thing. So I think when we finally met him back in the championship, it was mostly like a mindset of the only people that beat us last time was ourselves. So if we can go out there and play like we have been, we can beat them. And like where we hadn't played Bourbon in a couple games since like prior to the championship, I think meeting them again in the championship and then, you know, especially having it at home, that helped too.
Sure.
The crowd. And, you know, well, like even in the fourth set of that game, you know, or the third set where we kind of fell apart, you know, the fourth set when we're fighting back, you know, that's kind of just a mental thing that everybody had to push through. So that turned into more of a let's show your ability to play and your mental or your mentality to get through the game than just all of it. And I think it showed at the end because we won. So.
Gotcha.
Before we go to commercial, Daron, did you have do we have a comment or a question or something there? Okay. All right, let's take a quick commercial. We're with Moco Volleyball. We'll be right back.
The team at Community Trust Bank believes in making financial dreams come true. Just like a fairy godmother, they work tirelessly to ensure their clients have the security and support they need, while also helping them create a magical future. With a touch of personalized service and a sprinkle of expertise, they guide their clients towards their goals, whether big or small. At Community Trust Bank, they are not just about managing money. They are about nurturing dreams and building a prosperous future for all who walk through the door. Join their family and let them make your financial wishes come true. They are your friend in banking. Member FDIC. You're listening to the From Corner to Corner podcast brought to you by CRC Roofing and Renovations. CRC sprung into life in the year 2000 thanks to Rusty Cerniglia's bold leap into entrepreneurship. Juggling a full-time job with his small gutter venture, he watched it blossom into CRC Renovations. Fast forward to today, CRC boasts a dream team ready to dazzle both homeowners and businesses alike with their top-notch services. You're listening to the From Corner to Corner podcast brought to you by Jacob's Auto Body Repair and Paint Shop is the ultimate pit stop for all your car needs. With a combined experience older than your grandma's secret cake recipe, we're here to fix you up. Drop us a line at 859-274-7425 for a free quote and let us get those wheels rolling. Our yearly growth is like a high-speed chase fueled by the love and trust of Mount Sterling and beyond. It's all hugs and high fives to our amazing crew of customers for keeping our engines revving with success.
And we are back with Moco Volleyball coach Bradley Craycraft with senior Sara Zink and Tia Terpening. So I was looking over some of the other stats here. 1,010 assists for Sophie. I mean, is that her gig? I mean, that's just what she does is set these assists up. Is that her main role?
I mean, that's her position is a setter. And I mean, whenever you're touching there for, I mean, probably 3/4 of the season, she was running a 5-1. So she was touching basically every second ball we put up.
Is that number as impressive as it sounds? Like,
oh, absolutely.
Because we were going through, like, was it last week that we did the volleyball?
Yes.
That we awarded, you know, like we picked a volleyball like season athlete, and I think Sophie was our nominee for that, right?
She was.
Because you know, looked at Clark County, Bath County, Menifee, and Moco, all in these statistics. I mean, nobody sniffed 1,000, and I mean she like passed 1,000. So I mean, I was like, that's pretty. It had to be like pretty impressive. So, I mean, what would I'm not even
Sean,
gonna say what
I mean,
a normal thing is, but
when you look at the stats, and there's only one other player with 3 digits.
Which was Kate,
and
Kate
one with
Kahn.
2, and everybody else is then 1,000's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Process of elimination.
She's pretty important.
When it comes to volleyball, I mean, obviously it has to run very much a team aspect game.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know, we've talked about that before, but you know, because you have to, somebody has to dig.
Yep.
Someone has to set.
Yep.
And someone has to, someone has to do, whether it's, smacking somebody in the face with a keel or just touching it with some finesse over top of somebody. It has to work a certain way or it's not going to work at all.
Yep. that's why I say in volleyball, you very rarely see upsets. Like, football team comes out, they're having a great night, like, boom, you catch an upset. Basketball, same thing. Some dude come in randomly. I mean, last year, Oakland beating Kentucky. That dude just never went 10 for 20 from three-point line in his life.
Right.
And he comes out there in the NCAA tournament and lights it up. Volleyball, you very rarely see that. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
And that's why, you very rarely see. And even your upsets, you go and look at the two teams, you're like, okay, that other team that beat them was still pretty good. They just have a bigger name. So.
Gotcha. So, I mean, when it comes to, you were talking about, you mentioned off the air earlier, like how close are they to 1,000 digs and whatnot like that? I've seen some people that, get the volleyball, like they get, like you get basketball for 1,000 point score or something like that. Everything is important, but what do you think is most impressive in? Is it 1,000 digs? Is it 1,000 kills? Is it?
What's award?
I guess so.
Award worthy. I mean, to me, 1,000 anything is going to be like 1,000 assists this season. Now, is it a little bit? I'm going to say easier to get 1,000 assists than it is to get 1,000 digs. Absolutely, because there's no guarantee that Tia is going to touch 1,000 balls trying to dig hits this year.
Gotcha.
But as a team, we're probably going to dig up 1,000 balls that Sophie gets to run after to set. So therefore, she gets at least an opportunity. So that's why, blocks is probably the one that, if you get to 500 blocks on your career, I mean, you're a blocking machine.
Yeah.
Just because the only way you get a block is if it hits your hands and then it hits the floor. If you just block it and the other team picks it up, it just great play, good job, way to not let it come over the net. But for it to be a block, it has to score. But, I mean, and then anything else, kills, digs, 1,000 is just as impressive as 1,000 points.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, any of that type of stuff. I mean, but don't get me wrong, 1,000 assists in one season, that's an impressive number. We've only had one other setter ever do that.
Well, and then, on top of that, you all talk, I mean, between Sarah's and Tia's, it's like, oh, so they dug the amount that Sophie needed to assist for, well, it looks like mainly Alexa and Sarah.
Alexis and Sarah get most of it. Just, I mean, in the sport of volleyball, 75% of the sport's played out of system. Most of your out of system balls are going to go to your pin hitters, so your outsides and your right sides. Sarah and Alexis are our two outsides.
Yeah.
So they're getting the majority of balls.
Gotcha.
And that's why, efficiency is such a key for the middles. Like, Sarah might get 50 balls in a game. Middle might only get 18. That's why middle is like, if you get 18, you need them killing 10, 11, 12 of those. That way their efficiency is up, and that way you're getting kills out of all locations on the floor. And, I mean, that doesn't give, like, hitting percentages, but I think Erin finished the year hitting somewhere in the mid to high threes, and Bailey wasn't far behind her as far as me being able to get on huddle and check hitting percentages.
So what is a hitting percentage? What goes into that?
You take the amount of attacks, subtract the amount of errors, and then divide the amount of kills into that. It's kind of like a batting average.
Gotcha. So I guess the only other stat that I saw that was impressive, and we've got both of them here tonight, that can actually lay an ace down.
Absolutely.
What takes jump serve, both of you?
I'm standing serve.
You're just a standing serve and you're jump serve.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you look for to be like? Look, do you just pick out a weakness that I know that I can, serve an ace?
She looks for the fear in the eyes.
I mean, it might be something like that.
Who's it going to be? Oh, I see her.
Yeah, it might be something like that.
Was that off of the
Water Boy.
That's mine.
For me, it's just focusing on my float that I do, so where the ball floats in the air and getting it to a certain spot where the other team's going to be either out of system or just all out of whack. So that's what I focus on, try to get as much consistency on that serve as possible.
Is that like floating it over the net? Float
Yeah, like
Floating it into the
like a knuckleball
to the open
Yeah,
spot.
it, like,
yeah,
moves.
it like
Yeah.
will like move like a
Yeah. She's legit hitting a knuckleball. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like placement. No, you're talking about making sure you're hitting it to where there's
it's like
no
moving in the air.
Those are
Yeah.
hard to pass.
nice. Okay, all right, I got you.
So I think the biggest thing, because I always served first. My goal was just try and do it consistently, like my first serve, and then once you kind of see where their weakness is, you just try and keep going at their weakness. And so, like, my best spot was serving a 5. Tia served from the other side of the court, so she had a different, like,
I didn't know you can serve from either side.
yeah.
You can serve from anywhere as long as you're between those 2 tick marks on the outside the court. That signifies.
I always
it's kinda
thought it had to
it's
be
kinda
in
like
that
the
back-
end of the court. Continue. That's what those signify. As long as you're between those, you can serve from anywhere.
Gotcha.
Did not know that. That's
So
why we do this show, so we can learn the ins and outs of all these different things. Right?
100%. So I asked this of pretty much everybody that comes on the show. You all being seniors, and with the season that you had, was there anyone that you saw at the beginning of the year and that you were like, oh, I think they're going to make a major change or a major difference for this team this year? And do you see anybody that going into next year, like, yeah, they really are going to step up their game?
Erin Fawns, at the very beginning of the year, she's young, but as soon as we started getting in practices, you could see the difference that she makes on the court with blocks or just being there in the middle in general.
Mhm.
So she made a huge impact this year, and I think Anna Allison, she's just, when she grows more into volleyball, I think she could just be like an absolute beast because she's lefty, so we don't get a lot of those.
Okay. All right.
So it makes a huge difference. So I think she's just
Can you
gonna-
teach her your knuckleball, man? You throw a left knuckleball out there, no turning back on that, right?
Yeah, I think Erin's gonna be a beast. I have 6th period with Erin. We have weightlifting together, and I think this year kind of got her serious about volleyball, especially. I think Bailey also. I think the middles kind of were our biggest impact. Obviously, like, Alexis is Alexis. I mean, there's not much more to say about that. But, like, practicing against the middles, when we're going against them every practice and you're not hitting it past them and you're getting blocked every time, I think, and then going into games and them just blocking like crazy, I think that's just, they did really good this season, and it was great to play with them.
Gotta love that for, as a coach, losing 5, but you got some depth coming, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the state of the program has never been in a better place. I mean, as far as, losing the type talent we're losing. And, I mean, it's going to be hard. Like, no, you don't replace girls like this and the other ones that aren't here. You don't replace them, just like that. But whenever you can walk in the gym and you're looking around, you're like, oh, okay, that's a good piece. That could develop in it. Yep, that one and that. You're in a good spot.
So does that last name Fawns have the,
Yes,
the connection?
that's correct.
That I think it does.
It does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. I thought maybe. And now and Allison, is that Ryan Allison's daughter? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to learn people, Wes. Are you impressed by this?
A little bit. Yes.
So, I thought maybe it might have been. So that's good. That's
It's only
awesome.
taken him 302 episodes.
Right. Yeah.
We're on
Look, when we started this thing, it was a wrestling episode, okay? Only thing I had to know is who Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, was. It didn't have anything to do with knowing local celebrities. So, well, one of the other things that we always ask, Sarah, I assume you're still going to
Yes.
Coastal Carolina. We talked to you about that during the softball season, which, by the way, you and Reagan sat right here and called the regional championship and
Yes.
going. And Daron and I was there the night that Reagan broke the record and
Yeah.
that you all won. That was an amazing night. It was
great.
so cool to be able to be there and be a part of that. And, that's one of the the best like moments of the podcast was being able to witness that regional title, and
I think it's
and all
still
that.
the actual game clip is still the most watched clip on our page.
Well, it might help. It might help with the fact that LEX stole our clip, and
Where's that button? Where is that button?
Views and opinions. I can't say that
Look,
because
Just say of Sean Kiper. Don't say.
They did do it. I mean, they straight up.
You didn't even get credit for it.
Yeah. Later that night, Wes is like, what? He was messaging LEX going, at least you could have gave us credit. You take our
Anybody
video.
else, they put the little thing at the disclaimer at the bottom, courtesy of blah, blah, blah. It didn't say courtesy of from corner to corner, but they took the clip, not the whole game, but the clip that Adam had made were just Sean going, that's it. And then everybody goes crazy, and that's what they showed on the news.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's because we're just that dang good, right?
Okay. Let's wrangle it back in here.
Tia, what about you? Are you following in your sister's footsteps? Are you going to be playing at the next level?
I've already committed to Spalding University.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
So if you've committed to Spalding, and I know that Bree was a senior, but she still has a COVID year possibly there.
She already a senior in college?
Yeah, she had senior night.
She went in as a sophomore.
Oh, okay.
So could you all be Terpening on the court this year?
But she's getting married this next year, so it's up to her decision. But we could. There's a possibility.
No pressure, Bree. I mean, it's only your sister wanting to play volleyball with you.
Hey, but maybe she wants to get to the work life and the wife life.
Maybe. I did notice that you all were both going to coach.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Alpha.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How excited are you for that?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm just ready to gain more experience about this sport, not just from a player standpoint, but just tell my experiences, and just share them with younger kids.
Not only that, I mean, when you coach somebody, it will help you on the court also, because court. Is it court? Okay. I was like, wait a minute.
Well, it's not
they have a special. But, help you on the court also, because you can, as you're playing, you can use your, ability to coach just to be, the coach on the court.
Okay. It's a totally different perspective that helps in two different ways.
Yeah.
So,
not to bring softball up, but how excited are you for softball season?
I'm really excited. National Signing Day is the 13th, so my ceremony's not the 13th, but I make it official this Wednesday, so I'm really excited. I already went on my official visit with them back in September. Got to look at the campus, go to the football game. It was nice.
Are you doing that at the high school?
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Okay. I don't know when the ceremony is, because I'm leaving to go play softball in Florida here soon. So.
Well, let us know, because we'll definitely be there to stream that. And we'll definitely be at yours to stream yours, too.
Thank you.
It's getting about that time, ain't it?
It is about that time. So, new coach.
Yes.
So, how has that gone so far with the new coach? And, the pretty big classes left, but, how do you feel everything's going to go this year so far?
Well, I actually just had dinner with him. All the seniors did right before this. He wanted to talk about the season, some of his things that he thought. I think he's coming in with a really good goal. Gotcha. He wants to grow the program, work with the girls. He knows the talent he has right now with the senior class, and he has seen. I've been to a couple of the workouts. And I didn't know all the girls coming up, but he sees a lot of potential, and I also do, because I've never really been around him, but I think he's here to really make some changes in the best way possible.
Well, we'll have, it won't be long before we'll have him on, and I'm sure you'll be back in this seat again. So I just wanted to get a little bit.
We got to get him in here. So
I'm sure we'll have a good, so,
yes,
but,
She might be in the running to
close
surpass
Reagan
as the leader of the.
I don't know. There's a couple of Menifee County people that's been on here a lot. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. By the way.
No, they're it's like Sara though. I mean, all these sport players are superstars in all of the sports.
Absolutely.
So that's who gets the FaceTime.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. Are you playing basketball this year?
I'm not.
Oh, so see, that might be what cut you out.
Right.
And
on that note, now let's take our last commercial. Then we'll come back and do. Take care of some business.
Special thanks to Brent Wehunt, Kentucky Farm Bureau in Frenchburg, the sponsor of our Athlete of the Month program in Menifee County. Special thanks to KimSoft, our title sponsor of the From Corner to Corner Athlete of the Week in Montgomery County. KimSoft, eco-friendly industrial services, is your go-to squad for all things squeaky clean in the commercial and industrial world. Based in the heart of Mount Sterling, they are your friendly cleaning wizards, serving up sparkling magic in areas like Lexington, Louisville, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Huntington, and beyond. Let's turn that grime into shine. Feeling jittery about diving into the world of property? Fret not. Let Kentucky Realty Group help. Whether you're gearing up to buy, sell, or just need some guidance, let their expert team help sprinkle in some magic on your experience. From cozy condos to grand mansions, they've got your back. Seeking a fixer-upper, a slice of luxury, maybe a peaceful rural retreat? They've got the keys to all those kingdoms. Dive into their treasure trove of listings and let the property adventure begin. You're listening to the From Corner to Corner podcast, brought to you by Tutu's Sweet Treats, where you can treat yourself to our divine lineup of desserts that will dance on your taste buds. Whether you fancy gooey chocolate brownies or our deliciously moist cakes, we've got a treat for every sweet tooth out there. Give yourself a sweet escape and take a bite of pure bliss. It's time to surrender to your cravings, grab a fork, and dig into our homemade goodies for a dose of sugary happiness.
We are back with Moco Volleyball, and before we wrap up here, once again, thanks for coming on, joining us tonight. Incredible season, Tia. Awesome career. You two, we'll get to see you again when I know who it is.
No, you said you too. I was like, no, he's done forgot her name.
I just didn't want her to feel left out. But we'll have her again because
forgot about it.
We'll have softball. Plenty of that. So, and then is track in the spring?
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't ever get stats for that kind of stuff. It's like we don't even know that happens.
It's weird. It's very individual, so it's just very.
It's trying to track down stats for a lot of these sports is a very challenging thing to do. That's for sure.
Track, cross country, golf, and swim and dive. You might as well just.
If you don't have somebody on the inside track sending you that stuff, it ain't happening. So as we've been progressing through the month, we've been doing, fall sport wrap ups. Last week we did volleyball. The week before we did,
hey, I'm getting ready to give some stats. I'm like,
would you rather be on the screen?
Hey, there we are.
The week before we did soccer, and then this week we're doing golf. Right?
Yeah, we've done golf. We've done volleyball.
Yeah.
Scratch that. We've done soccer. We've done volleyball.
Yeah.
And this week we're going to do golf.
And we only have 2 schools that participate.
We only have 2
golf.
schools. I think Bath County is just getting off the ground with golf. Because I don't think they competed this year. I might be wrong about that, but I think next year they're going to compete in golf. Because I do think they have a boys golf team starting next year, I believe. I might be wrong about that, but I think I heard that.
So we have boys and girls both for Moco and Clark County. Then.
Correct. Yes.
So who we got?
For Montgomery County, our athlete of the season on both sides would have been Maddie Easterling. And and Brett Markham. Congratulations to them. And in Clark County, we got Molly Claire Wasson and Evan Taylor, which obviously he was 11th in the state this year, so at the state tournament. So congratulations to all of those golfers for both of those schools. And maybe next year we'll have a Bath County. And who knows, maybe we can talk Paul into starting a golf team. Paul, start a golf team. We need some more players.
Maddie was in the top 10 until the very last round. She had a bad last round.
And I have heard
just let the record say that was not me for one.
That was the views and opinions of
the negative.
It wasn't really
I'm saying she was top 10 in the. She led the tournament.
At one point, she was.
Most of day one.
And we'll probably have Spoon on here before long. Chris Spoonamore, and Michael McCormick. We'll have them on here in the next few weeks to kind of go over the season. But I do know for a fact that Bowling Green's golf course was the greens were extremely hard. PGA
It was like ice, apparently.
PGA greens usually roll somewhere between a 9 to 11. That's just on they have a ramp. They put a ball on and it goes out so far. They had it rolling at a 13-14 for high schoolers.
Right.
So yeah, it was just like putting on concrete,
like
smooth concrete.
5 or 6 putt once they got to the green.
Yeah, it was so.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Spoonamore.
Coach Spoonamore. I can't say that. I graduated with that goof. Spoon.
We talked to Spoon at church, and that's what he was telling us. He said the greens were just stupid.
But congratulations to all those players. All the way around, it was a pretty good season for everyone. So, congratulations to those players.
Absolutely. Thanks to all of our new subscribers. You know, we've had several people sign up here lately to subscribe. We appreciate that. All of that money just goes back into helping the kids and stuff. So
go to our comments. Yeah. The link is right there. All you got to do is click on the link and subscribe.
It's 99 cents a month. You won't even know that it's missing.
You'll never know.
If you pay 99 cents for extra storage on your Apple phone, then how could you turn down our premium content for 99 cents?
That's right.
Come on.
It costs you $1 to get storage on your phone.
Extra storage is 99 cents.
Mine's $2.99.
Well, but he's got
some of them that are
20,000 photos on it. 20,000 photos on his phone. I've never taken 20,000 photos.
I'm gonna leave.
He's a big selfie guy. He's like sits around, like snaps these selfies of himself.
Look at me, gosh. Next week's a big week.
Yep, we're going to Win City Sports Cards live on location with GRC basketball boys coach
Josh Cook. And he's going to bring a couple players. So big week.
Took us a long time to try to hammer him down, but we finally got him.
He's excited.
He fell for it. He liked us on Facebook.
He did.
Boom.
No, he liked us on Twitter.
Or Twitter. I'm sorry. Yeah.
He didn't expect Wes to be
like
camped out on the Twitter.
Right.
I mean, the minute that you got the notification, you're like,
I'm just going to
message him.
At my phone. Oh.
So, no, we're pretty excited to get him on the show and be able to talk to him. And that will be all of the basketball coaches. He's our last one, right? Yep. We've talked to all of them. Yeah.
I believe so.
So, awesome. And right before we get ready to start basketball season at that. So, tune in next Monday night, 6 o'clock. We'll be live from Win City Sports Cards for that. So,
otherwise?
All right. Well, guys, there you have it for this week's edition of the From Corner to Corner podcast. Remember to help us promote our podcast, our Athletes of the Week and Athletes of the Month program. We do what we do for our communities, our teams, our coaches, and our students. They all deserve it. Catch you guys next week.
Stay safe, friends.
From Corner to Corner podcast would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to all our amazing sponsors for their support. A big shout out to Chemsoft, Tutu Sweet Treats, Win City Sports Cards, CRC Roofing and Renovations, Brent We Hunt Kentucky Farm Bureau, Kentucky Realty Group, Jacobs Auto Body, Kelwell Commissary, Simply Secured, and Community Trust Bank. Thank you for your awesome support. Because of you, we're able to bring the best content to our listeners every week. This has been the From Corner to Corner podcast. Join us live every Monday night at 6 p.m. for another exciting and fun-filled episode. Missed the live show? No worries. Catch every episode on all major podcast platforms every Thursday, as well as our variety show that drops every Saturday. And as always, stay safe, friends.
The Moco Four Horsemen would like to thank you for listening to From Corner to Corner. Be sure to go out and follow us on Twitter, on TikTok, on Facebook, Instagram, and even YouTube. Whatever podcast platform that you listen to us on, be sure to go out and give us a 5-star review. Thanks as always, and we look forward to seeing you next week.